Welcome to the Ithaca Bomber Athletic Stream. It's Ithaca Women's Lacrosse against Rochester, the first Liberty League battle for both of these teams here at Higgins Stadium. Alongside Eli Fishman, I'm Jeremy Goldstein. Eli, Ithaca 3-1, Rochester 2-1. Both teams coming off road wins. What are some of your early expectations as we get ready for an afternoon matinee?
Two teams that have played close all season. Largest margin of victory for Rochester, who comes into this one at 2-1, has been 3. And the Bombers 3-1, a big-time victory over FDU Florham last weekend. And then a couple days ago, a 12-8 win over Scranton, a very tough game. Well fought, only lost the season coming to Cortland, an 8-9 loss. Two teams that play close, competitive throughout the entirety of the match, and two aggressive teams that we're going to see throughout the entirety of this one.
So we're just about ready to get underway. It's Cassie Bull taking the draw for Rochester against the new program leader in draw controls, Caroline Wise, a transfer coming in her sophomore year. She's in the first half of her junior season. She already has the program record for total draw control wins. Honorable
mention, All-American last year, and someone whose full potential, so young in this program, is going to be on display today and for the rest of her career.
Ithaca still ranked in the top 15. Rochester trying to get on the board with their first Liberty League win of the season, and the Bombers control possession. To get us underway here at Higgins Stadium, Olivia Puppo was rushing it in. We have a whistle sounding and a stoppage in play early here. Attack resumes as Haley Armstrong catches in the corner. Moving it behind the net. The starting goaltenders is Ava Safran against Lexi Held. Safran, a junior on Rochester's end, Held, a junior on Ithaca's end. This is why she got hit, and the attack will resume. Chloe Nordyke still behind the circle. Ithaca trying to enter the 8-meter arc here. Nordyke on the feed behind. Maisie Veach trying to finagle her way by. The offense resets with Nordyke again. Ball loose on the floor. I believe we have a defensive foul here.
This is an Ithaca team that's taken a lot of shots, 28.3 per game. Third in the Liberty League. Rochester, 22 per game. A team that's aggressive, and when they have their shot, they're going to take it.
Free position goal. That's Lexi Kellish on the board for Ithaca. And just a minute and a second in, the Bombers have the lead. So a free position opportunity, something Ithaca loves to take advantage of, Eli, coming in, and they're 1-for-1 to start. Lexi Kellish getting her 4th goal of the year.
4 for 10 on the season. Make it 5 for 11 for the Bombers on the free position shot. Again, taking advantage of your opportunities. That's going to be a big one against this Rochester team that's played an all-right defense so far, but still much needed is taking advantage of those free position opportunities. 1 for 1 on the day.
Kellish came in with 4 points on the season, 3 goals and an assist. Like we said, it tallies that 4th goal. The first shot Ava Safran had faced goes right by her. Safran came in with a .511 save percentage, 7.67 goals against average. As Wise wins another draw control, we're going to get used to that as here comes the aforementioned Kellish rushing it into the Rochester end. The Bombers come in, Eli, 85 total shots. They score 15 goals per game and let up just 7. This is Maddie Hall with it, trying to enter the arc on the feed from Nordyke. Gives it to Veach again. Veach all the way across turf. Still corralled by Kellish. Bombers looking to add on to their lead here. Ball is deflected away, picked up off the ground again. 45 seconds on the shot timer.
Some slipping and sliding snow throughout last night, cleared off by a shovel at Higgins Stadium. That's definitely something to watch. A couple of players sliding behind the net.
A lot of snow on the South Hill yesterday. Nordyke tried to find the angle, got denied. This is Caroline Wise again. 22 seconds to get off a shot. Hall, entry feed, and the ball was batted away from Nordyke, and Rochester creates their first possession of the afternoon.
That was Hall. That was a perfect feed, just not able to corral it right in front of the net. a perfect shot. And this is the first opportunity we're going to have to see Ithaca on defense. Ithaca, one of the best defenses in the Liberty League, that's going to be on display. Rochester, lower down in the conference, so this is going to be a matchup to watch, especially when Rochester is deep in Ithaca territory as they are now.
And we're going to see how these Liberty League stats start to add up as, again, conference play has begun today. Ithaca does go back on the road in a non-conference battle. They go to Amherst on Wednesday for their second road match of the season. A turnover nearly here, and it will be. Great job by Ithaca, clogging the passing lanes, especially by the goal, really taking away any high-danger opportunities.
And that's going to be big for Rochester. We talk about Ithaca and taking advantage of their opportunities, but Ithaca, one of the best defenses in the Liberty League in Division III women's lacrosse in these past couple of seasons. So for Rochester, when they get the ball close to that net, getting it in is going to be key, and the passing game is obviously a big part of that.
Long pass didn't get cleared, and it'll roll all the way to the net of Saffron. Rochester with a second chance here. Both teams with a turnover early on in this one. We're 11:19 remaining in quarter one. The Bombers with a 1-0 lead thanks to the free position goal of Lexi Kellish. Behind the net it goes for Alyssa Gorney. A centering feed, a shot, and a score! Grace Crochier ties the game at 1. A great centering feed by Gorney. They did not count the goal, though, Eli. We saw that go in the back of the net. I didn't see what the call was.
Neither did I. Not sure exactly what led to that not being counted, but looked good on the top right part of the net. Remains 1-0 Bombers.
Ithaca has it on their offensive end. Caroline Wise behind the net. Looks for the wraparound angle. But there, Campbell Sy on the defense there.
We're going to see Wise live in that area right behind the net, kind of directing traffic with the ability to wrap it around on the inside as well.
Veach created some space and immediately got triple teamed. Looks like we're having another free position here. Veach taking it from the far right of the 8-meter arc. Veach entering, shooting, and scoring! Maisie Veach's third goal of the season. She's been more of a passer this season, Eli, notching more assists than goals. That'll be her third goal of the season, though, her 8th total point. Ithaca with a 2-0 lead.
And Maisie Veach is in trouble on the offense. She's been double, triple teamed. One of the best players in the conference last year, coming in dominating in her sophomore campaign. And a perfect shot there, as we saw, taking advantage of that free position shots. Now 2 for 2 are the Bombers. Both of their goals coming via the free position. Kind of a little stutter step, move to her left a little bit, and just to the left of the head of the goalie in net, Saffron. And the perfect shot, exactly where you want to place it, goes in, makes it 2-0.
Eli, you brought up Veach's sophomore campaign, one of the more dominant offensive attackers in the Liberty League, all Liberty League first team, but comes in this season, the defense has really given her a lot more respect. And obviously, like we said, has been passing a lot more. Has 5 assists this year, but has to feel good to get your third goal of the season.
Indeed, after the year she had last year, coming in a little bit of, not necessarily putting up the numbers that you would expect after the star-studded 2022 campaign. Still good numbers, obviously, especially on the assist category. Not as many goals as she would have hoped, but there's another one for Veach.
So 2-0 Ithaca, 10:22 left in the first. A near draw control win for Rochester. Kellish got a stick on it, and it's picked up off the floor by the Yellow Jackets. Rare draw control loss for the Bombers this year. As Rochester looks to cut their deficit in half. Emma Little feeds the corner for Gorney. A wraparound try and the save by Lexi Held, and Ithaca takes it back.
Held almost got lucky there. She kind of lowered her stick, and with that raised her shoulder, and it was her shoulder that took the shot, getting the save there. And Held, forced to be reckoned with in the net these past couple of seasons, getting the job done with a big save, almost accidentally there, to keep Rochester off the board.
Neutral zone takeaway by Rochester, but Maisie Veach with a phenomenal intercept. Numbers for the Bombers if they hurry. Veach, using her frame, gets inside the arc, but gets denied again by 3 defenders. Feeds Wise, back for Veach. Maisie Veach shoots and scores! The phenomenal play defensively by the junior out of Sudbury, Massachusetts, and she has her first multiple-goal game of the season.
We saw 2 by the free position. And then that one, exactly how you draw it up. Veach takes the interception, clean. Bombers had numbers running down the field. A little bit of a setup by Caroline Wise, who gets the assist, tosses it to her over the top, and fires a strike in the top left part of the net. Exactly how you'd want to draw it up in a game for the Bombers. With 9:23 left in the first, 3-0. They now lead. 2 of those coming from Veach.
Coming into this one, Veach had 5 turnovers in comparison to just 1 caused turnover. But a crazy caused turnover there for her second of the year. And then, again, that goal gives her first multi-goal game of the season. It's just the first quarter. We're 5 minutes and change into this one.
All-Liberty League in 2022. All-American honorable mention last year. Already putting on quite the display today at Higgins Stadium.
This is a Bomber team, Eli. A lot of great players, especially on the offensive side of things. And they all deserve high praise, but it feels like, based off what we're seeing, this might be a game where Maisie Veach does get the spotlight. As another draw control win by Wise. It's in Kellish's stick now. Kellish was the first goal scorer of this game for the Bombers as she'll reset. Centering feed at the top. Wise shoots. Looks like that one went wide. Might have been saved because the Bombers do retain possession here. And we're going to get a free position. Here comes Wise. She'll dish it off. A shot. And Maddie Hall's shot was saved by Safran. Rochester really needed a good defensive play by their junior goaltender, and they got it there. As a collision here on the field between Elizabeth Green and Giantino.
Great save there by Safford. A good shot, good set up for the assist by the Bombers. But Safford, instead of taking that step back into the goal, takes the step out to get closer to the shot and is able to get some stick and some body on it to knock it out.
Both players from that collision seem to be okay as here comes a Yellow Jacket offensive opportunity. When you create turnovers, if you're Rochester, Eli, how important is it that you capitalize off of them considering the disadvantage they have in the draw control circle?
Extremely, extremely important. I mean, we see the numbers that have been done in the draw control circle in favor of the Bombers.
Scramble for the ball in front of Held's net, still loose on the ground, and it's going to be batted away by a Bomber stick, and Caitlin Russell corralled it, but the whistle blows. I think Rochester will get it back.
As I was saying, when you dominate the draw control circle, likewise, you got to be able to capitalize, and you got to be quick in transition for Rochester to get numbers on the other side after the interception like we saw. And unlike they just did there, you got to pass the ball successfully.
Overpass, 5 seconds to shoot it. And I think the Bombers will officially create the turnover. If not, Rochester just has 3 seconds to get one off, and the timer does reset. It will be Ithaca possession with Elizabeth Green. Scampering down turf, finds the stick of Chloe Nordyke. Nordyke all the way into the 8-meter mark, gets pushed from behind. That'll certainly be a free position.
It's desperation at that point. I mean, you saw the way she was running down the field, and I talked about what Rochester has to do in transition, exactly what Ithaca just did and Green just did there. Impressive all the way through. She didn't even look for anyone to pass. She saw the goal, conked back her stick, ready to fire it, knew exactly what she was looking for, and gets fouled.
That was a blindside hit from the back of Nordyke, and Nordyke will try to be the beneficiary here with 7:17 to go. A yellow card being issued to Genentino, so this will be a woman up penalty as well.
2 for 3 on free position, and another shot, another big opportunity for Nordyke to get her first goal of the day. Ithaca 2 for 3 on the free possession.
It will be a woman up penalty assessed to Giantino, so a 1-player advantage for the Bombers, trying to extend their lead to 4. Green corrals, Sydney Phillips entered, and the whistle is blown. A free position here. And the Bombers make it 4-0.
Green here. A few good shots, pair of goals this season.
Phillips shoots and scores. The 4th Bomber goal by the 3rd different offensive attacker. And it's a 4-0 Ithaca lead, Eli. Rochester has not had any answers.
Rochester has had no answers, and the fouls have not helped at all. So Sydney Phillips getting her first of the day. And as you mentioned, fourth Bomber to score a goal, Veach with 2. Sharing the wealth.
So we had Kellish, then 2 from Veach, and then the free position goal there from Sydney Phillips. Looking at Phillips' stats, that's her 9th goal of the year already, and that's her 10th point.
Now tied at the atop the leaderboards with Caroline Wise with 9 on the season in the goal category. 10th overall point.
So still a minute 44. No, the goal does clear the woman up. So that's the second woman up, according to the stat sheet here, the second woman up goal by the Bombers this season. As Wise will win another draw and hurries it into the Rochester zone. Nordyke backspins, gets tripped. Trying to look for the wraparound angle. With 75 seconds to shoot, so still plenty of time to get one off.
Wise 20-2 in the draw control circle. And we talked about how big that is that Ithaca, I mean, they're 4 for 4 today. It feels like they're going to win it virtually every time with Wise at the circle. How big capitalizing those opportunities is going to be on for Rochester.
Ball loose on the turf. Ithaca still gets away with it. Brooke Fianaka had a clear look at that one, but couldn't collect the ground ball. Phillips in the arc. Got hit. And this could be another opportunity, Eli.
Let's see what the call will be, but
it'll be a free position.
It will be a free position. Down 4-0, 6:06 left in the first. You want to limit the fouls if you're Rochester. That's not what they've been doing. And looks like it will be Phillips will take it.
Phillips enters, shoots, and scores. Safford has had no answer defending free positions in the goal crease, and it's 5-0 Ithaca already. We're not even 9 minutes in. And what does it say, Eli, about a team, if you're Rochester, where you cannot defend the 8-meter arc without fouling? We've seen Ithaca be able to prevent opportunities from inside there thanks to some Lexi Held saves in the past and to some good defense, obviously. But Rochester, they really haven't been able to get anything off clean and get stops.
It's desperation. I mean, you see the numbers on the defensive side for Rochester and the amount of goals that they've allowed and the shot percentage that they've allowed throughout the entirety of this season. You got to turn on desperation when you're in an attack like that with Phillips and Wise and Veach coming at you. They've had their fair share of struggles over the past couple of seasons in Liberty League play as well last year, going 5-9, 2-8 in Liberty League play, outscored by 6 goals per game on average last season. Losing a couple of their stars, Kate Lindsay, one of the stars who they lost to graduation this year. And we see the struggles on the defensive side. Down 5-0. It's about capitalizing on offense and another draw control in Ithaca's favor.
I think there was a violation in the draw, actually, so Rochester will take over. Trying to get on the board for the first time here this afternoon. Crocier playing catch with Cassie Bowl. This is Gorney. For Emma Little now. No entry yet for the Yellow Jackets. Still plenty of time to do it. The shot and a save by Held again. It's her second of the afternoon. And Lexi Held, the junior, comes up big in net once more.
I mean, the numbers that Held has put up throughout this season. 6.25 saves per game, 6 in the Liberty League. The Liberty League saves leader with 25. And the .510 save percentage. Especially, I mean, you have the defense to back her up, the offense to back her up, but it always helps a team and the momentum for a team so much when you have someone in goal like Lexi Held, who's done what she's done so far today.
Good job by Held guarding the post there, but an intercept by Little and a caused turnover for her as here comes Rochester again. Alyssa Gorney couldn't find the entry. Good denial by Caitlin Russell, the sophomore. Crocier. The Yellow Jackets playing catch behind the initial arc. Little. Behind the dotted arc now. Stagnant offense here for the Yellow Jackets. Centering feed. Went all the way back out to the dotted arc again. Riney Dutch with some good pressure defensively as well. Gorney. Giantino again. Gorney, good angle and another stick save by Held. I mean, that was the most space we've seen a Rochester attacker have, Eli, but Held, calm, cool, and collected, made the save.
Lowered the front hand, brought the net right in front of her face, had range anywhere in the net, and another big save for Lexi Held in the net. Haven't seen much of Emma Little, by the way. All Liberty League honorable mention last year. 23 goals last year. Hasn't gotten the ball too much. Ithaca's done a great job defending her. Not even a shot put off by Little.
A turnover there, forced by Rochester. A bouncer and a score. Brooke Fianacca gets the Yellow Jackets gets the Yellow Jackets a tally here in the first. Bomber lead cut to 4.
Second goal of the season for Fianacca in her 4th game played. And finally a 1 for Rochester. We saw what looked like 1 earlier, which was called back. And the first one's always going to be the biggest one.
Well, Eli, like we said, draw controls have resulted in a lot of Ithaca's goals in this one, and Rochester likely wouldn't have a lot of draw control victories today. And they get that goal off the cause turnover. Lexi Kalish had it taken away from her stick. And we finally see the Yellow Jackets able to capitalize and put one on the board. Rochester will send Giannatino to the circle, so Bull unsuccessful on her first few attempts with Wise. The Yellow Jackets send a new face to try to face off with the junior.
And it was Crocier with that interception on the near side that set up that play, set up the goal by Fianacca for Rochester. And the defense on the Rochester side is going to be huge. So great interception there to set that up.
Looked like Wise got hit in the head there, but nothing called, taken away from her stick. But Wise does a great job using her body to create good positioning. Ball still with Ithaca. Armstrong behind the net. And the Bombers 3-1 this season, had that tough 9-8 loss to Cortland in the second game of the year, but rebounded well with a dominant win against FDU Florham, and then the win on the road against Scranton. Here's Veach looking for the hat trick, and she was hit.
She had an open opportunity. Almost nothing but net for her to go in as she went with the little stutter step. And again, desperation from Rochester. We've seen it all game. It's the team. That's what they're going to do. They're going to hit you, and they'd rather have that free position shot than that open net that Wise potentially had.
Here comes Veach, and the whistle blew. I think she jumped early. Someone did, at least. So the Yellow Jackets dodge a bullet. This is Erin Esposito trying to clear one away. Ithaca playing some tight neutral zone defense here. The pass wasn't clean. Ball on the turf. And the Yellow Jackets, the beneficiary of a whistle that time. Esposito for Fianacca, the goal scorer for Rochester with their lone tally. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, Ithaca with the 5-1 lead. Lucy Haggerty, having called her name too much today, Eli, she's got 8 goals for Rochester this season as well. A bouncer for Haggerty goes all the way back down to the fence. A turnover for the Yellow Jackets. Ithaca takes it. I believe the shot clock should be turned off here. They can let it wind down if they want to, and Bomber was taken down that time. Puppo was.
And Haggerty, you mentioned, hasn't gotten an opportunity. Been Russell and Armstrong on the defensive side that have been all over her. And the leading scorer for Rochester's been shut out, barely gotten the ball in this one. A testament to the Ithaca defense for sure.
Nordyke taking it back to the arc and got taken down. This should be another position, but from a very tight angle.
A very tight angle, you said. It's going to be tough for her to go straight to the net. She's probably going to have to dump it off. And someone to watch is Veach, just to her left.
Yeah, she's going to elect to just reset possession here. Again, Ithaca could take this all the way down to the buzzer. The feed for Phillips. Phillips scores! Sydney Phillips, her third goal already. And it's 6-1 Bombers in the waning seconds of the first.
Third goal for Phillips. She takes the team lead with 11 on the season. And capitalizing on those free position opportunities yet again. With the dump off, the pass around the perimeter, and then going up over the right shoulder and into the net to extend the lead to 6-1 for the Bombers, who continue to cruise with 38 seconds left in the first, dominating the Rochester defense. They've got no chance.
And that's the second goal of the 6 that had an assist on it. Maddie Hall with the nice centering feed to Phillips, who was cutting towards the net. Some really good chemistry inside the 8-meter arc. That's what we can say about the Bombers.
Absolutely.
Countlessly. As they reclaim their 5-goal advantage against, like Eli said, 38.8 seconds left here in the first. Another violation on Wise. That's the second time we've seen Rochester get awarded a draw off an illegal move. Let's see if they can benefit. 25 seconds for the Yellow Jackets to get their second goal of the game. Giannatino had it knocked away, and the whistle blows.
It was Kellish who knocked her stick in there. Looks like it might be a free possession opportunity, and indeed it will be for Rochester.
The first chance the Yellow Jackets have. One Giannatino, a shot and a stick save by Lexi Held again. And it looks like she could just keep this if she wants. 5 seconds to go in the quarter, and that'll cap off a phenomenal first 15 minutes for the Ithaca Bombers, Eli. 6-1 their lead.
6 goals in 15 minutes. Almost as dominant of a performance that we saw against FDU Florham a couple of weeks or last week in the MAC Freedom Conference, and now you're welcoming Rochester, a team that's had good success in the Liberty League over the past couple of years, to Higgins Stadium. And even in this manner against Rochester, a team that, as I said, has had good success. They've competed the last few years, and Ithaca trampling over them, especially on the offensive side. I mean, when there's that many fouls on Rochester, we've seen 5 free position opportunities so far, 4 of them resulting in a goal, or rather 6, 4 of them resulting in a goal on the Bombers' side. That tells you all you need to know. Straight dominance on offense in the passing game, in the shooting game, and Ithaca able to do it on defense as well. And what Lexi Held has done in the net has been huge.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, you could talk about the Ithaca offense all you want, but you look at both goaltenders. Ava Safran, 1 save on 7 shots faced. Held only faced 5 shots, but made 4 saves. So it's her goaltending that's kept this Ithaca lead where it is, where they could have a little more comfort going forward.
And we've seen players like Haggerty and Little on the offensive side for Rochester be completely shut out. Neither of them have gotten a shot off. Or Haggerty has had 2 shots on goal go off, and she's 0 for 2 on both of them. Nothing for Little so far in this one. And the defense, as well as Held, has locked it down. And curious to see exactly how Rochester comes out in the second as the clock winds down in a 6-1 lead for the Bombers retained. Because it's almost like, what can you do when Ithaca has that ball behind the net? We've seen what Veach and Wise can do when they're behind, running traffic, setting up the plays. Dominance.
And you mentioned the players that Rochester has, right? And Emma Little and Lucy Haggerty. Well, a lot of Rochester's possessions have come off frantic caused turnovers, and while those are good defensive plays, your offense is really scampering to get back. You haven't had the time to reset and really set up the offense you want to run because of the pressure Ithaca's defense provides. So these systems that the Yellow Jackets like to run that have gotten them wins against the likes of Nazareth and Stevenson, you really can't get that same success you had in those two games because of the way Ithaca plays. I mean, look at Rochester. This is their fourth road game already. They haven't played a home game. So you can argue they haven't gotten comfortable offensively yet.
And they've played all good competition. I mean, you look at St. John Fisher, Nazareth, and Stevenson, the three teams that they played on the road, going down last week to Stevenson, Maryland. I mean, all three very good teams, and they're getting another great team with the number 12 team in the nation in Ithaca. Not an easy start in the non-conference journey for the Yellow Jackets, and obviously not an easy matchup to start Liberty League play. Coming to Higgins in the snow, facing the number 12 team in the nation.
Rochester plays 3 more non-con games. Make it 4, actually. They have their home opener against SUNY Brockport on Wednesday. They face Hamilton on the road on March 21st. SUNY Oneonta at home on March 31st, and then Morrisville State later on in the season. So just get ready to go here for the second quarter. For Ithaca's non-conference opponents, they do play St. John Fisher, a team that did beat Rochester for their first loss of the season. They also play Hamilton. That's the second to last game of the season on April 26th. They're ranked 22 right now. And like we said earlier, they play Amherst in a trip to Amherst College on Wednesday. Amherst is a nice place. It's where I worked this summer. As Caroline Wise wins another draw.
One of the best basketball teams in the country as well. Good at all sports. Up there in baseball, too, softball.
Their women's basketball team was really good a couple years ago, ranked as high as first in the country before the season got shut down due to COVID. Is Wise will feed Phillips, looking for that fourth goal, but she got triple teamed. Kellish for Nordyke. The Bombers playing catch. Good ball movement here. Armstrong working it around the arc. Wise will facilitate. Kellish on her backhand. Resets behind the net. Armstrong again. Pressured by Esposito. Back for Wise. Kellish thought about firing. Gets double teamed at the post. And got hit. And Lexi Kellish will have a free position.
One goal on one free position shot, and one shot attempt on the day for Kellish already.
Kellish didn't like her angle. Ithaca will reset again with 25 seconds to shoot. Veach trucking her way through, shoots and scores! Maisie Veach just plowing her way through towards the net. I believe that's her third goal of the game. Yep, 7-1.
7-1, third goal of the game. And she probably made contact with 3 or 4 Rochester defenders on her way to the net. Raised her right shoulder with the stick in her hand and the ball in her hand with her left, lowered it a little bit, went into the net, went over top, over the head in net of Saffron. Exactly how you draw it up. And we talked about the aggressiveness. We saw it on a couple plays from Wise and Phillips. In the first quarter, I mean, lowering the shoulder a little bit, being aggressive, pushing through. And all 3 of those plays where you set up the ball on the outside and kind of rush towards the net, all 3 of them have resulted in a goal so far for the Bombers. And Rochester defense looked helpless on that one. I mean, there were probably 4 girls who made contact with Veach before she made it even into the net.
And great job by Veach, right? To use her strength and not commit a charge where she lowers her shoulder into a defender, but to just plow ahead in a legal way, I guess that's the best way to say it. But again, just Maisie Veach impresses every time she's out on the turf. This is Kellish. And she scored that first goal of the game, and then it became the Phillips and Veach show. Wise trying to get her first point as well. She'll find Maisie Veach, who tries to wrap around that left post, feeds Armstrong behind the net again. Phillips gets by one defender. Goes for Wise. Bombers taking their time here. Nordyke, full steam ahead for her, had it taken off her stick. I think his offense will keep it. Reset for Lexi Kellish. Kellish found a lane through the middle, but had it taken away. Oh, Nordyke, another great ground ball to keep possession alive. Wise feeds Veach, and the save was made by Saffron. Ball on the turf. And it will stay with Ithaca, but Saffron, who struggled today with her best save of the afternoon.
Veach was kind of right in front of her face, with the ball, and trying to, it's one of those positions where it's so tough that you want to dump it off. You're so close to the net, you can't swing your arms out for a good shot the way you would like, so she kind of shoveled it right into the stick of Saffron and net, and now another free position opportunity.
Another time where the Bombers do not elect to charge. Saffron in goal. Nordyke creating space, fell down spinning. That'll be another free position, Eli. Again, Ithaca gets in the 8-meter arc, and Rochester can do anything but foul. This will be another difficult angle, but better than the last couple she's had. Nordyke charges, shoots, and scores! Top shelf on that left corner of the goal. Ithaca's all over Rochester in this one. It is now 8-1.
The dominance continues. The dominance on the free position shots and capitalizing on the fouls in those free position shots continues for the Bombers in this one with that 8-1 lead. Shot just to the left of the head of Saffron, and no time, no opportunity to flip the stick and defend that one. Again, exactly how you draw it up for Nordyke. Goal number 12 on the season for her.
We have a change in goaltending for Rochester. After 8 goals were allowed by Saffron, this is the first time she will not be playing. It'll be the senior Emily Geis, Andover, Minnesota native, making her first appearance. She did not appear in 2021 either, so Geis, who played in one game as a rookie in 2020 before the season was shut down, did not appear in her sophomore year. Doesn't say anything really here about her junior season. She did not play at all. So this is her first game she's played since her freshman year, Eli. A chance for her to make her mark. Kellish recovers. Had some sticks around her head area, but does recover. 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. We have so much game left, and we already have 8 goals on the board for the Bombers, Eli.
Here's the fouls. It's the free position shots. You just can't allow them, because chances are, whether the pass towards the net or that.
What a goal by Phillips. Just like a sidearm pitcher sweeping it through Geis's legs. 5-hole, if you will. It's 9-1 on Phillips' 4th goal of the half.
Wow. The display by the Bombers continue. The stick almost scraping the ground.
Literally
on that one is Phillips going in. Goal number 14 on the season. And the display continues for Phillips and the Bombers. And Geis, how about welcome into the net? Welcome into your first appearance in 3 years in college lacrosse. And probably didn't even see that one.
I mean, Phillips continues to one-up herself. That was one of the most athletic goals we've seen this season. But you look at Geis again, played that one game her freshman year in 2020, made one save, allowed a goal, hasn't played since then, and immediately gets thrown into the fire against one of the best offensive teams in Division III lacrosse.
Not easy. We talk about the schedule for Rochester. I mean, you got William Smith, Brockport coming up in the next few games as well. Not an easy road. It's going to continue to be for Rochester as the number 12 team in the nation continues to dominate.
Ithaca's got possession again thanks to another draw control win. Veach felt the body, ball on the turf. It will be taken again by Elizabeth Green. Nordyke centers, and the shot denied. That was Lee Natural making her first appearance.
Campbell Sy as well on defense, getting in the way of that shot.
We have a free position here for the freshman Natural. Looking for her third goal of the season. Natural charges through the middle, fires, and that went wide.
Wide right, Rochester takes possession. First time in, probably 3-4 minutes, maybe even more than that Rochester has had a ball in their stick.
When you have a goaltender in Geist, not that Ithaca's done a lot wrong today at all, but you want to make sure you put that on the net and force her to make a save. As Rochester picks up their own ground ball, long pass ahead. This is Lucy Haggerty. Can she get going? Tried to center it all the way towards the arc. Ball on the turf again, and it'll go out of bounds. I believe Ithaca will take over here. More careless passing by the Yellow Jackets.
They hadn't had the ball for about 3-4 minutes, and within 20 seconds, giving it right back to Ithaca, who at this point, 9-1, you want to get it on the other side of the field against Geist, an inexperienced defender in net for Rochester. Try to put up some numbers in this one.
Natural will feed for Armstrong. Looking to create. Veach, some high pressure here. Green now will try to finagle her way in. Centers, Phillips, another shot. I believe Rochester got a stick on that one. It'll stay with the Bombers, 42 to shoot. Veach will collect the ground ball, trying to use some momentum to her benefit here. Armstrong didn't have the angle on that left post, and it will go into the stick of Geis. Another ground ball loose. Phillips will recreate possession again. And I believe the Yellow Jackets will get this one back. Lots of back and forth here over the last couple of minutes, but Ithaca's still sitting pretty with an 8-goal advantage. When the advantage gets to 10, that's when we start seeing a running clock. So if you're Rochester, you're trying to avoid that. It will be a Bomber-free position. Maisie Veach, looking for her fourth goal of the game, enters in and scores. No defensive pressure at all. And Geis was left guarding a point-blank shot from the junior. It's 10-1 Ithaca. Still 8:54 to go in the second quarter.
Just getting started in this one, it feels like. And we feel like a broken record with just how impressive this offense has been and how helpless this defense for Rochester has been. And a big exclamation point for the first quarter and beginning of the second quarter here as Liberty League play opens up for the Bombers, who had a tough loss to end their season last year. A 1-point loss, make that, in both the Liberty League Championship as well as in Super Regionals, dropping this tough Super Regional final 11-12 to number 6 Franklin and Marshall. Dropped to William Smith by 1 point in the Liberty League Championship. And this is a team that has a lot to prove, is very motivated this year after just falling short of that Liberty League Championship and just falling short of making it out of Super Regionals in NCAA tournament play. And a big exclamation point to start the season in general.
Another draw control win by Ithaca. Eli, Rochester has 5 goaltenders on their roster. How many do you think we see in this game?
Well,
what's your prediction?
All 5.
All 5?
I don't know about all 5.
That would be something. Escalis shoots, and I believe a defender made the save there in Abby Smith.
I don't know about all 5, but that's technically how much we would be on pace for with 2 goal switches in the first 20 minutes.
Well, again, coming in, Saffron was the only one to make an appearance in Rochester's first 3 games, so might be a chance to see more as Lexi Held makes another nice save, and she'll look to clear it ahead. The long clear opportunity. Nice find to a wide open Nordyke.
That was a great pass by Held.
4-on-3 for the Bombers if they hurry. Nordyke gets a stick around. Inside the arc. Had a backing opportunity momentarily, but didn't shoot. Armstrong centers for Wise, and the easy tap-in goal for the draw control program leader. She's on the board for her first goal. It's an 11-1 Bomber lead.
Exactly how you draw it up. You saw Armstrong behind the net.
Nope, not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. Another misfire by me. It'll be a free position instead. The whistle before the shot. Wise will come in. And the bouncer saved by Geis. All that build-up for nothing. It's my fault. This Chachio will clear it ahead for Rochester, looking to create some momentum of her own. Ball deflected away by Green. Elizabeth Green hasn't gotten on the points category yet, Eli, but she's made some good passes offensively, and she's been a great defensive presence, especially in the neutral zone, creating chaos. Comes some Yellow Jacket pressure ahead. Ithaca behind for Haggerty. Centering feed. The shot by Bull. She scores. Cassie Bull's first collegiate point. It's the second Rochester goal here at Higgins Stadium. Ithaca's lead down to 10-2. Great pass by Gorney. Freshman to freshman connection, Eli. That was Gorney's first collegiate assist to Bull's first collegiate point, so a big moment for both of those players, they'll remember.
And Rochester able to chip away here. And it was Gorney, the big assist and the first goal by Cassie Bull on the year. An impressive play there for Held and net. What I was thinking about is Held, the graduate student, and this is a very young Ithaca team that is going to be very good the next couple of seasons. And who do we think is the next person up for the Ithaca and net?
Well, Lexi Held's a junior, so I think she's got this year and then next year if she chooses, obviously, which she'll take. And Kayla Howley's a senior, but you also have a freshman goaltender as well, and Jocelyn Coate. So Ithaca will be set with their net presence for years to come. As here comes the Yellow Jackets. They win the draw, trying to make this a 7-goal game potentially. Giannatino for Lucy Haggerty. Phoebe Hosford seeing some pressure defensively. The freshman getting a lot of playing time in the early stages of her collegiate career. Giannatino tried to feed one towards the middle. Ithaca broke it up, though.
Kellish batting it down. An impressive job there. And another impressive save by Held and net.
Yeah, King found some space, point blank, but Held able to use her stick.
A quick trigger there as well. King was kind of coming around the net, wrapping around from the arc, and didn't even hesitate. As soon as she made her way around the net, shot. And
Veach found a cutting Lily Cody, who was taken down. We'll see what the call is here. Cody, a freshman attacker, has not recorded her first collegiate point yet either. And Cody will get a free position shot. Cody out of Old Saybrook, Connecticut. Looking to get that first point, and the save made by Geis. I don't even think she saw the ball. Her head was in the other direction. But another save by the senior goaltender there.
And we talked about Rochester being quick in taking it across and getting in Ithaca territory. Exactly what they're doing here. They probably got from one goal to the other in 15 seconds, going all the way across the field.
Emma Little. for Giannatino again. Haggerty. We've seen a great job by Hosford, really not letting Haggerty get anything she wants off. Little trying to enter. That won't be allowed. Giannatino can't get to the arc either. Thanks to more Lexi Kellish pressure. Haggerty. Back for Gorney again. Gorney creates space and scores. A brilliant goal there by Gorney, her 7th of the season. And that one impossible for really Hell to get to. She squeezes by 2 defenders and then creates the space for the shot.
The perfect shot, and Rochester chipping away. Down by 9, they've scored 2 unanswered. They get the first goal of this game. 10 by the Bombers, and now 2 more for Rochester as they look to chip away with 4:30 left.
Yeah, obviously Ithaca's lead's still comfortable at 10-3.
Quite,
but if
impressive display there on the last 2 possessions, insanely by Rochester.
Right, again, if you're Rochester, a chance to maybe collect a couple more here if you're able and get some positive momentum and feeling going into the half. Something that's important for a team like them that's really looking from the ground up in terms of Liberty League projections and trying to make their name known as a program. Obviously, Ithaca and William Smith dominating the headlines early on. Those are the 2 teams that have competed for the Liberty League title the last handful of years. Teams that make it far in the NCAA tournament seemingly every season either as well. So the teams like Rochester, they got to fight for their spotlight, if you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely, they do in this momentum. And the 3 goals that they put up, as I said, have been impressive, especially with Held in net and what we've seen her able to do.
And how about Giannatino winning another draw control against Caroline Wise? A chance for the Yellow Jackets again. Miscue on the pass. But Treychek able to collect it again. 4:08 to go. Rochester trying to continue their run. Currently at 2-0 right now. It's taking them longer than Ithaca to get up shots. Giannatino feeds the middle. Great play by Caitlin Russell. Kellish had to take it off her stick, and the Bombers will keep it.
Taking the foul there as Kellish, another great play on defense, had a good job in transition. As that was the foul going on Little. And the passing game for Rochester on the offensive front. They've had some pretty impressive moments, but the consistency is going to be key for them moving forward in this one. Playing a lot more conservative as well, as you mentioned. A lot less towards the net, like the Bombers are.
Veach made a heck of a move, got inside the arc, and then got hit again. There's another free position coming for Maisie Veach, looking for her 5th goal of the game. Veach will retreat, and Haley Armstrong will catch and reset. The feed inside for Wise, and another foul. Looking at free position opportunities as a whole, a big reason why the score is the way it is, I think it's got 9 opportunities to Rochester's 1. That'll make a difference regardless of who you're playing. As a Yellow Jacket defender jumped early, we'll do it again. Wise feeds Green. Green didn't get enough space for her to feel comfortable shooting it. We'll go back to Phillips again. Nordyke had to take it away on the turf in Rochester. Another good defensive stand here, but Nordyke somehow saves. Wise got smacked in the face, and another foul. Rochester, very well coached offensively, you could argue, especially when they get inside that arc, but defense, they're just fouling at will here, like it's part of their strategy. This is natural for Armstrong. Veach from the corner, nice save by Geis. It was taken away from her stick, though. It will stay with the Yellow Jackets. 2:18 to go in the half.
And we've seen that play a couple of times by the Bombers on the free position shots and those opportunities as that one goes out of bounds on the far side, and Ithaca will jump right back into possession. But where you go on the free position, you take a step back, kind of go around the horn, around the 8-meter line behind the net and try to do the wraparound. That's exactly what Veach did there, but from point-blank range, right into Geis's, right into the pocket of her glove, almost a strike right to her.
How about Geis making 4 saves on 6 shots faced? It's a lot of what Rochester needed in the first quarter, but wasn't able to get. Offense circulating again. Natural behind the net. Nordyke for Green. Veach for Armstrong. Centers back to the top for Wise. Wise inside for Natural. Got hit through contact.
And it looks like they'll say the contact was before she even shot that, as that one went wide left, getting hit from a variety of angles by Rochester, and now another free position opportunity for Natural.
Yep, the 10th free position opportunity for the Bombers. Natural is in, and another save by Emily Geis.
Some help there on the defensive side from Little, who was able to get her stick in front of Natural, and also the save bouncing off the stick of Geis and then behind the net for Rochester in the passing game in transition.
Careless pass. Kellis right there for the steal. Another caused turnover by the Bombers. One of their best games in that category here today. It's been a while since we've seen a goal in this one. Still 10-3 Bombers, 24 seconds left in the half. Veach sailed it high over the crossbar. Shot clock is off. Ithaca still's got it. Ball loose. The shot by Nordyke. She scores. And I don't believe this one's going to count, but yes, it will. Sometimes it's hard to tell from up here. I got to give me a little bit of patience, but it will be 11-3 Bombers. 10.6 to go in the half. Nordyke's first tally of the game.
Nordyke getting in on the action, her first, and it was quick after that ball went out of bounds instead of kind of taking your time to reset it as it was tossed in from behind the net after the mistake by Veach. I mean, right to Nordyke, right for the shot. And it was Maisie Veach, she had a couple of opportunities and went with the shot. It went over the net, and she immediately, no hesitation, didn't even think about it, didn't even take a step back after missing it. Got in, inbounded it, and Nordyke eventually gets it for goal number 13 on the season as Ithaca extends their lead to 11-3. And after you mentioned it, quite the few minutes with no scoring and not a lot of action on either side.
Nordyke gets her 9th goal and her 11th point. 10.6 to go in the half. We'll likely see an 11-3 score going into the break unless somebody goes on some miraculous rush here. Maybe it's the Bombers. Here comes Phillips, all the way in for Nordyke, and she got hit. 1 second left, and that'll do it for the first half here at Hagan Stadium. Ithaca looking for their first Liberty League win of the season in their first game. They lead Rochester 11-3 at the break. Eli, anything to say before we take a break ourselves?
The passing game for Rochester definitely needs to improve. I mean, we've seen good stints of offense, a lot of good shots. They've been good in getting shots off when they're able to get right around the arc, as they've gotten 9 shots off, 3 of them going in, and 3 of them on Lexi Held is definitely an impressive feat with the saves that she's been able to put up. But on defense, I mean, it's been the fouls, it's been the free position opportunities, as 10 for Ithaca to only 1 for Rochester, and that's going to be key in the second half, as Ithaca has a 11-3 lead, and the momentum, especially after Nordyke's shot going into the net with 10 seconds left on the clock, is definitely big, clearly in Ithaca's favor.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in less than 10 minutes. Ithaca up 11-3 over Rochester. Stay with us. Back on the Ithaca Athletic stream, the Bombers 11, Rochester 3. Jeremy Goldstein here alongside Eli Fishman. We saw some flashes of good play from the Yellow Jackets in the second quarter, but it's been a dominant game for the Bombers so far. Again, that 8-goal advantage, 4 goals from Maisie Veach, 4 goals from Sydney Phillips. We're already on to our second Rochester goaltender as well, and Emily Geis. She has made 4 saves, but in terms of time of possession, Eli, we've seen Ithaca truly dominate.
We have, and they've been aggressive on both sides of the ball. The passing game for Rochester has lacked that of Ithaca, and what Ithaca's done offensively has been so impressive. I mean, as the snow continues to fall, 12 free position opportunities to only 1. And Ithaca leading in that category, and they've been able to capitalize on so many of them, accounting for 6 of their 11 goals.
Wise's shot was wide, the first shot attempt of the half. We saw Wise have a goal earlier, but it was taken away due to a foul prior.
I think 2 for her have been taken away, if I'm not mistaken.
We saw 1 taken away, 2 that would have evened the game at 1 from Rochester early in the first quarter. And again, if we do get to a 13-3 Ithaca lead or a 10-goal lead, at any point the clock will just run. We won't see stoppages anymore.
And you mentioned Emily Geis coming in as well, coming in at the beginning of the second quarter. 5 saves and 3 goals allowed, .625 percentage. First time she's played in 2 seasons coming in, and she's definitely impressed with the absence of Saffron since she was taken out.
5 goalies on this Rochester roster. A lot of veterans that don't see the playing time due to Saffron being the top gun, so to speak, but a chance here for Geis to potentially make some momentum, and you got your home opener against SUNY Brockport coming up on Wednesday.
Could be fight for a spot.
Right, that's what I'm about to say, right? If Geis does a solid job and prevents a good tally of Ithaca goals this half, you make an argument she should get that nod. Ball on the turf here, picked up again by the Yellow Jackets, trying to maintain their possession. 76 seconds still to shoot, so an eternity of time for them.
And they're going to try to milk the clock a little bit. We see a few back and forth passes around the perimeter. They're going to take their time, but that's not what Rochester wants, as looks like there'll be a free position shot set up, and that could potentially be, you're fouling to increase the action, try to get the ball back, speed up this game a little bit.
Gracie Giannantino, the beneficiary of the foul there. She's going to enter in on held shooting, and she scored. 11-4 now. Rochester has 3 of the last 4 goals in this game, Eli. It's a 7-point game again.
I'm a big fan of momentum, and it's huge for Rochester. It was 10 unanswered by Ithaca after Rochester got the first one of this game, going up 10-1. Then 3 unanswered by Rochester, 1 by Ithaca with 10 seconds left in the first half. And then quickly at the start of the second half, Rochester coming out on top as Giantino gets her 6th goal of the season.
I'm not trying to put this narrative on it, but look at the last 7 to 10 minutes played. If that, I think
Rochester's
been outplayed.
100% they have been. I mean, the passes, we saw a few errant ones on Rochester there going out of bounds. And as I mentioned, that's something that Rochester definitely will be looking to improve on throughout the rest of this game and throughout the rest of their season as Liberty League play opens up today. But in the scoring category, 3-1 in the last probably 7-8 minutes of play, Rochester has indeed won.
I think has had more success on this side after their 6-goal first quarter.
We'll see, though, because this is their opportunity. The first time, when you get right in front of that net, that's where they dominate.
Wise slings and scores. Caroline Wise on the board. Her first goal of the game. I think is back up 8.
No defensive opportunity there for Geis. That one going through the legs, another one where Wise slings it down. Nordike gets the assist. Almost rubbing on the turf is the edge of her stick. And Wise, 3rd goal.
It's not quite that Sydney Phillips goal we saw for her 4th of the game, but it was one of those where Weiss kind of shot it where the Rochester defender was kind of screening her own goalie, and it was able to find a slot at the bottom of the net. That's just not shooting it at the net. That's precision accuracy. That just shows how great of a player Caroline Weiss is.
On the draw controls, Ithaca's won 13 of 5. Coming back as Rochester's won the last couple, but not anymore.
In lacrosse, Eli, draw controls probably the most important stat, you can argue. Not goals, not assists, but lacrosse is a game of creating possession, and then once you have that possession, that's when your attack can go to work. Caroline Weiss is probably the most important player on the field at all times. As here comes Veach. Through 2 defenders, got hit. Looks like she's getting another free position.
And speaking of draw controls, 40 and 36, Ithaca was coming into this game, and now Weiss, who's accounted for a lot of those positive outcome ones, winning 14 of 5 in favor of Ithaca as a big free position shot.
In goes Veach, and she got denied. We usually don't see her shoot from that angle. She usually tries to reset, but went right at Geist that time. You mentioned the draw controls. Weiss has 11. Phillips has 1.
That was Cascio with the impressive defensive display there, knocking it out of the stick of Veach and giving Rochester the ball to fight downfield.
Stagnant offense here for Rochester. Little going for Alyssa Gorney. She's gotten a goal and an assist tonight. Or today, I should say. It's an afternoon game. Heidi Donovan bounces one towards the middle of the turf. Gorney almost got the shot away, but a couple of Bomber sticks forced possession to last a little longer.
Haggerty there, a good snag.
And there's a goal by Ithaca, her second of the game. Both teams trading goals at this point now. It's 12-5.
Trading goals, but I would argue the momentum's still in Rochester's favor, especially with the most recent one. And again, they continue to impress over these last few minutes of play. Now, 4 goals for them going back into the second half in probably the last 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, you mentioned the momentum. Still 4 of the last 6 goals in this game scored by the Yellow Jackets. But again, there was that point in the first quarter, really the beginning of the game, where Ithaca just came out like a machine, scoring on 3 consecutive possessions, and it's made the difference because Rochester was put in such a hole early. And even if they do continue to slowly build and snowball some good play here, they're still going to have a long way to go.
Haggerty gets the assist there on the Ithaca goal. And she saved the ball, saved an error pass from going out of bounds, brought it back in, flipped it over the top of the goal for the assist. And Haggerty, a name we haven't mentioned a lot today, obviously the leading scorer entering this game for Rochester, but gets a big assist there, and she's made an impact in a lot of ways in this one.
Something, I don't know if you see it on your screen, but towards the back of the turf here, as it looks like Ithaca will get possession here off the violation. Well, it'll be Rochester.
Rochester, another violation for Weiss. It was at 3 today, I believe.
The other goaltender, the backup, Kayla Howley, getting some repetition towards the back of the turf, so maybe we see her later today. This is Gorney. Chance for Rochester to be the closest they've been since the first quarter. As that one goes out of bounds, a turnover by the Yellow Jackets. So a play, if you're the Yellow Jackets, you don't want to make, especially with all the momentum you've had. Turnovers like that take you out of the game.
They've all been on the passing game. They haven't been, we saw a couple interceptions from Veach and some good plays by Ithaca defensively, but a lot of the turnovers have been not caused by the Ithaca defense, hearsay, but mainly caused by Rochester's passing game.
Veach a bit of an outlet for Nordyke. Ithaca taking their time here. 9:50 to go in the third. Ithaca up 12-5. Lee Natural swings it back for Veach. Phillips looking for that illustrious 5th goal. For Haley Armstrong now. Phillips centering Veach. She scores point blank. Sydney Phillips now with 5 on the day. Ithaca's back up 8.
Second game with 5 in her career for Phillips. Guys, no chance there, taking a step forward out of the net. That was almost an open net. Armstrong gets the assist. Goal number 15 on the season for Phillips.
Sydney Phillips, again, we talk endlessly about Wise, Veach, and even some of the defenders who do a great job, but Sydney Phillips deserves as much credit as any attacker really does. Again, you mentioned her second game of her career with 5 goals, doing it in the first Liberty League matchup of the season here in her junior year. She's been a force. That's all there is to it.
All there is to it. She's dominated this game, and she's only on the offensive side gotten a handful of opportunities. 6 shots on goal, or rather 5 shots on goal, 6 shots in general, and she's 5 for 5 with shots on goal.
Her season high in goals coming in, albeit it was just 4 games, but it was 3. So she's truly taken over. Then you have Veach, who has her 4, so maybe we can get 2 5-goal scorers in this one if we're lucky. As here comes Lexi Keller. She got hit in the head. Yeah, that's got to be a woman up, you'd think.
It's got to be. I think it was Veach that got hit on a similar play earlier in this game that was, without a doubt, a yellow card, which it will be.
Yep, woman up for the Bombers here.
A second chance they've gotten in this game.
I mean, we've seen aggressive defense, but that was simply a whack to the head by Emma Little. She'll take a seat. Ithaca looking for their second woman-up goal in as many tries.
And this isn't necessarily a Rochester team whose defense I would describe as aggressive in the physical sense that you're going to get a lot of women-up opportunities, but we've seen 2 of them a little over halfway into this game. And 2 aggressive hits.
Cody for Armstrong. Nordyke back to the top. Phillips bounces one for Armstrong, but they'll recover. And a whistle blows.
Free position shot.
Yeah, for the Bombers again. The woman up timer will stop at 1:31, so Ithaca has time and a better chance, you could argue, at getting another free position tally here. Wise feeds. Nordyke enters. Gets hit. Kept it on her stick. They'll reset. Phillips for Cody. Cody shoots. It's wide.
She's looking for a foul there. She got hit on her side by it was Fianca.
Long pass for Armstrong. Kept it on her stick. Goes for Phillips. Phillips shoots, and that was wide too. Still a minute to go in the woman up penalty, but 25 seconds to get one on goal. Cody centers. Phillips shoots and scores again. Her 6th goal of the game, and the Bombers are up 9. Six goals for Sydney Phillips. Incredible.
What a display by the junior from South Salem, New York. In her career, 63 goals, 49 of them coming last season in 21 games, and through 3 games on the season, she's got 16 for the Bombers, the leading goal scorer on this team. And you talked about it, Jeremy. You know, you talk about the players like Veach, like Wise getting All-American nods last year, but Phillips in these first few games of the season for the Bombers, especially in this first one in Liberty League play with 6 on the day, proving herself, proving a spot, proving she's a force to be reckoned with on offense.
Phillips will stay in, but we do see a change in goal as Kayla Howley will get some reps in for the Bombers. Lexi Held will take a seat. Held made 6 saves on 11 shots faced on goal. So another solid day for her. And Ithaca's lead, the largest it's been at 9. Draw control here will go to Cody. Ithaca will look to get that 10-goal lead and get the running clock. Caitlin Russell got hit. And you could tell by
frustration.
You could tell she was kind of saying, "Oh, it's about time that whistle was blown." I mean, she was being surrounded there.
Kind of slamming the stick a little bit on the ground as she was knocked to the ground and wanted that whistle. She got it.
Got to play with her sister Lauren Russell, who is on the turf there momentarily, as Ithaca gets to the Mare offensive end.
Two pairs of siblings in this game. On either side, you look at the two siblings on the Ithaca side.
Caitlin and Lauren Russell, yeah.
Caitlin and Lauren Russell. And then on the other side, from Rochester, New York, you look at the little sisters, Tessa and Emma. Emma in her senior year. All Liberty League honorable mention last year, one of the leaders of this team. And Tessa Little, coming in as a freshman last year, her little sister.
Was the pun intended there?
That wasn't a pun intended, but that was a good one.
See, give yourself some credit.
I'm not a comedian, Jeremy. I apologize.
And neither am I, but we can act like it sometimes. Here comes Wise. Will feed. Veach thought about the long shot. Now for Armstrong again. Here comes Wise. Tried to find Phillips. She gets it on her stick. And I mean, there were 4 defenders there. They're not going to let Phillips get off a 7th goal if they can.
They're not playing very well. I'm glad that we're not responding.
Neutral zone action here. Do we have a timeout on the floor? A timeout called by Rochester. So let's gather ourselves here. 6:30 to go, 14-5 the Bombers lead. We saw some Rochester momentum at the back end of the first half coming into the beginning of the second half, but Sydney Phillips has responded with 2 goals and given Ithaca their edge back.
2 unanswered, and she's definitely turned that edge around and turned that edge back. It was at one point 4 out of the last 6 goals in the game had been scored by Rochester. That quickly turning around with Phillips, the last 2, and the momentum coming in the Bombers' favor as they're 1 away from a 10-point lead with 6:30 left in the third. First time out we've seen as well in this one, and it was called by the Rochester side, telling you they think they have a shot. They want to stop this clock, get a chance to reset themselves after the momentum has fallen out of their favor. And in the huddle, Coach Richland firing up the Rochester squad.
Again, this dog in the other room wants to get on the broadcast. We'll see if we can make that happen. The timeout called on the turf, though. If you're Rochester, what are you discussing in this timeout down 9? What are you trying to get out of the last 21 minutes and 30 seconds in this game?
It's the same things I've said all game. You can't allow the free position shots. You can't foul as much as they have in this one. Looking at the free position margin, as we mentioned, 10 for Ithaca, 2 for Rochester, and the passing game as well. A few errant passes, and I said it earlier, the Ithaca for defense has obviously been so strong, one of the best in the Liberty League over the past 2 years, one of the best in Division III lacrosse, but the Rochester Yellow Jackets have shot themselves in the foot quite a bit in the passing game. And against the defense as Ithaca so tremendous, what you need to do is stay strong in the passing game and get a lot more shots off than they have in this one.
Obviously, turnover is an issue. Rochester is 12, but you look at Ithaca's side, they have 10, so the margin not too wide.
Exactly.
But the draw controls, again, they make the difference. Ithaca's got 9 more, 15-6 in that category. And again, we say her name ad nauseum, but Caroline Wise, obviously so many talented players on this team, but she really makes this, she's really the center, like the true anchor of this team, makes it function the way it does.
Wise and everything she's done, especially on that draw control. I mean, 10.68 per game last year, which was top in the Liberty League, top 10 in all of Division III, setting the program record, and then her 34 goals last year. Someone who's done it on defense, in the draw controls, 13 caused turnovers last year as well.
Rochester full steam ahead out of the timeout. This is Gorney. Yellow Jackets play catch around the arc. A feed for Gorney again on that post. Good denial here by Caitlin Russell. Gorney tried to work her way back and threw it away. Caitlin Russell got the chance to start today, Eli, and she has really made the most of her time.
Absolutely coming in. Great defensive play. And looking at the other side, Gorney had nowhere to go with that one. Had a desperation fling, throwing it over the net and out of bounds and giving Ithaca possession again. We talk about the passing game, but on this one, on that one rather, Gorney had nowhere to go with it, absolutely nowhere, and it was desperation getting the ball away from her before a turnover was imminent.
Desperation fling. I like that one. Here's Armstrong. Finds Cody. Tries to center one. Threw it away. Good telegraph there by Emma Little, but the Bombers take it right back. Haley Armstrong on the ground ball.
Passing in transition, something Rochester definitely needs to continue to improve on. As we see it there, giving Ithaca the ball right back after a very impressive turnover on defense by Little.
Maddie Hall working it to Wise. Cody had to leap in to get that one in her stick. Looking to get on the board collegially in terms of points. Goes to Nordyke again. Ithaca using the shot clock here. 30 seconds already gone. Wise looking for a teammate. Sails by Nordyke. Can Phillips save it? She can.
It's a big ground ball pickup from Phillips there. Great job, as that one was just in the reach of Siacho.
I mean, this is wasting clock at its finest here. No urgency by the Bombers. Phillips for Hall again. Tried to enter the arc, couldn't do it. Cody, backspin. Tried to find the wraparound try, but it wasn't there for her. 20 to get one off. Hall for Wise. Shoots it, scores! Caroline Wise, her second of the game. Ithaca's up 10. The running clock will commence.
And Wise, what we've talked about all day, her ability in the draw circle with 11, 2 turnovers on defense, and now 2 goals to go with that to give the Bombers the biggest lead of the day at 10. And the offense and Wise continuing with their stand.
Like we said, the running clock will start now. Thanks to the goal by Wise. Let's give a points recap. We'll start with Rochester. 2 goals for Brooke Fianacca. 1 goal for Gracie Giannatino. 1 goal for Alyssa Gorney and Cassie Bull with her first collegiate goal as well. Gorney has 2 assists. Lucy Haggerty has 2 assists. But looking at the offensive intake for the Bombers, Lexi Kellish got it started with the goal to start the game. Maisie Veach responded with 4. Sydney Phillips obviously is 6. Wise just picked up her second along with her 2 assists. Maddie Hall has an assist, and so does Lily Cody for her first collegiate point.
Good defensive play there by Gorney to give Rochester possession back. And on defense, you definitely have to give it to the Yellow Jackets defense with the interceptions and the turnovers that they've forced, as you mentioned earlier, very much keeping up pace with Ithaca despite the score.
That's the one category they lead in. They have 5 more caused turnovers than the Bombers today. Obviously hasn't translated to the scoreboard due to a variety of reasons, but something you can hold your head high about if you're Coach Carly Richland's team. And a free position here as well. This is Gorney in on Howley, and I believe Howley got the stick out and made the save. Ithaca will look to start the rush. Still a lot of the main attackers on the field for the Bombers as they're looking to expand on their lead. 2 minutes to go in quarter 3. Natural entering. Goes for Nordyke behind the net. She gets ready to facilitate. Wise for Cody to the top of the circle, top of the arc, I should say, with Phillips. Phillips gets by 1 defender. Goes for Veach. Veach to the arc. Armstrong with another catch here. Veach, free entry right in, got met by a slew of defenders, still has the ball, and I believe the shot went wide of Geis. Good interior defensive effort by the Yellow Jackets, 1:17 remaining.
Wide left, but she was going to the ground, Veach was, when she got that shot off. Would have been very impressive, that one in just wide left, out of reach of Geis, out of reach of the net, and Rochester. The momentum's in their favor right now.
Near takeaway, ball on the turf. Oh, beautiful ground ball. Taken by Lily Cody. Cody Artie with her first point today is an assist. Phillips for Veach. Shot clock is off. 30 seconds in quarter 3. Armstrong in. Natural got hit. That'll be a free position. And the clock will continue to run, though, so maybe this happens at the beginning of the 4th, but we'll see if we get it off. Natural will start it and retreat, and that'll do it for quarter number 3. Ithaca extends on their lead. They enter the final quarter of play with a 10-goal advantage.
And they've stepped on the gas pedal these couple of minutes. And Phillips delivering 6 goals on the offensive side. I mean, Ithaca's stepped on the driver's seat here after 4 of the last 6 goals were scored. 6 minutes into the third quarter, Ithaca has done all they need to, put that foot on the gas and continue to dominate in this one. And the clock running out, they're going to try to milk as much clock as they can, as we saw in that last possession. And they're now 1 quarter away from taking home their 3rd win of the season.
The one thing that's really disappointing is we're probably not going to see the 5 Rochester goalies that Eli had requested back in the first half. Maybe we see a 3rd, but Emily Geis, she's done what she can, but the offensive pressure, especially that back end of the 3rd, was too much for her at times.
You very much do have to give Geis credit, though. 7 goals allowed, 5 saves, a .417 percentage, coming in for the first time in a couple of years, coming behind net, and she's made some very impressive plays. And the entire Rochester team on the defensive side has made impressive plays. And Rochester leading in takeaways 15-14, and caused turnovers 10-7, as well as in ground balls 13-10.
Ithaca will hit the road again for Amherst College on Wednesday. That's another 1 p.m. start. They then face RPI on the road. That's a Saturday game. And they play what is being considered the 3rd best team in the Liberty League. That's their next home game, March 24th, a Friday, 4 p.m. start against the 15th ranked St. Lawrence Saints, a team that they handled last year pretty well, but they're going to be a lot tougher.
St. Lawrence and William Smith at the top of this league, right up there with Ithaca, expected to finish 1-2-3, at least in the division, in the Liberty League poll ahead of this season. And you kind of talk about the basketball season as well, and how we looked at the men's basketball side, and that when you have so many good teams at the top, and you look at 3 teams like Ithaca, like St. Lawrence, like William Smith, you kind of cannibalize yourself into a league where it's going to be 1 or 2 teams at the top that are going to compete for that bid, and most likely that bid is going to come in the form of winning out the Liberty League tournament straight out. I mean, we saw Ithaca competing up there with William Smith last year. They were able to get the bid, and they were able to host as well.
In years past, especially while the Bombers and Herons have both been, again, forces like we've liked to describe teams as today, they've both made the tournament, they've both made runs. St. Lawrence, though, could be that 3rd team. Again, the national rankings don't matter when it comes to selection, but if their reputation holds up throughout the course of these next couple of months, there's a very good chance you see all 3 of them in there. Very good chance, depending on how they play and exactly who their opponents are, as we learned about in Coach Johan Dolfer's volleyball class. A lot goes into the decision making. A lot goes into the brackets, and Ithaca was lucky enough to host, putting in the bid last season as well, despite the loss to William Smith in a Liberty League championship. Able to get that bid, earn the host site, make it all the way to Super Regionals. Well, 4th quarter about to get started. 15 minutes on the clock, and it will continue to run as long as Ithaca maintains their double-digit lead. We're seeing Lorelei King, a freshman midfielder, get a chance in the circle here, so Rochester going to some of their depth players down the stretch. Obviously, Wise still in there for the Bombers, as she'll throw one back for the goaltender, Howley, who gets set to clear. Caitlin Russell on the zone entry will go to Green. Bunch of long passes connecting for Coach Moore's Bombers here as Haley Armstrong makes the catch and wraps around the net. We'll dish it off for Veach. The offense gets set up. Phillips also still out there for the Bombers as she finds Maddie Hall. Hall gets her way in. Gets Gets pushed back and goes to Nordyke. Armstrong for Veach again. Under 40 seconds to shoot. Got hit. Ball came out and goes out of bounds. It will go to the Yellow Jackets. So Veach, a rare turnover at that area of the field.
That was the freshman, Abby Smith, coming in, knocking the ball out of the stick and giving Rochester possession. An impressive play there to flip the field.
Hard to do anything positive against Veach defensively one-on-one. But Smith does do a good job there. But Rochester nearly turns it over but keeps it. Rochester to the back for Lucy Haggerty. Doesn't have a goal but 2 assists on her box score today. Throw to the top. Emma Little. For Giannattino again. Works her way in. A shot and score! Believe that was Giannattino finding an angle down to the left post and throwing one in.
It'll go to Alyssa Gorney.
Yeah.
Number 8 on the season.
Not only does that get Rochester back on the board, it stops the running clock, so a chance for the Yellow Jackets to maybe inch closer here to the early stages here of the fourth. They do give the goal to Gorney, her first, so her 3rd point of the day as well. Gorney, a freshman attacker out of Ellicott City, Maryland. Again, if you're the Yellow Jackets, obviously not the game you've wanted here today, but a young player doing a lot of good things in Gorney, that's something you can be proud of.
A lot of bright spots, as we mentioned, that there have been in this Rochester game. And a couple of the big goals that they've had. I mean, Gorney, as you mentioned, the freshman coming in, making some big plays. Cy, the sophomore, as well, made some big plays on defense. A couple assists on offense to go with that.
Ithaca on the offense after a draw control win. Nordyke behind the net, but the whistle sounds, and I believe the shot clock, there was something wrong there because it just reset to 90. Now it does. As here's Armstrong. More stagnant Ithaca offense, wasting clock. Playing a more conservative approach here as they try to wrap things up on a win. Nordyke tried to get a shot. It got blocked, but Veach gets it back in her stick off the ground. Wise fighting Cody. Cody inside the arc. Good denial by Rochester there. Hall shoots. Hall scores! Maddie Hall's first goal of the game, her 2nd point of the afternoon. Ithaca's up 10 again.
The 6th Bomber getting in on the action to score a goal today. Now another point of another lead rather of 10 for Ithaca, and the running clock will continue. And that running clock especially is big for the Bombers as they look to put the nail in the Rochester coffin with 11:30 remaining.
Again, that does bring the running clock back. Seeing a change in attack. Gabby Rivera coming in for Haley Armstrong. So Rivera, who has a goal and a pair of assists, getting some playing time here. Maybe we'll see some more players get their first looks of the afternoon as Ithaca maintains this lead and the clock winds down. Under 11 minutes to go. The draw will go to...
Another violation.
Yeah, another violation.
In favor of Rochester.
Well, as dominant as Wise has been, we've seen 3 times where that's happened.
Some visible frustration on Wise.
Yeah, again, it could be just the set of officials you get where maybe they called that a little tighter than maybe she's used to. Almost 10 minutes to go now in this one. This is Lucy Haggerty. Yellow Jackets just averaging 2 goals a period coming into this. As here's a shot by Giannatino, and she scores. Gracie Giannatino back on the board herself. Her 3rd goal of the game, has 3 of the 7 Yellow Jacket tallies. It's a 9-goal deficit again for Rochester.
Rochester, they haven't gone away in any sense. We thought that Ithaca was going to have a handy lead heading into halftime. Then we saw 3 unanswered from Rochester. And now they've bitten back with every opportunity that they've gotten.
That's the 5th point for Alyssa Gorney, her 3rd assist. So a lot of their offense has run through her. Something maybe the defense wants to specify on if they find themselves in another one of those situations. 10 minutes exactly remaining in this one now. Do we see another violation here? No, Ithaca's ball. Moving right to left. And a turnover as Wasford couldn't catch up to that pass. Chance for the Yellow Jackets to get within 8. Some behind the net action for the Yellow Jackets. 9:20 to go in game.
A lot more conservative on the offensive side than Ithaca. Than a lot of teams waiting to set up the shot, and it's tough, especially with how strong Ithaca's defense is, to get it anywhere near the net.
Hosford redeems herself, creates turnover, and Howley gets the ball in her stick and clears. Lauren Russell. Defense getting involved here on the zone entry as Hosford enters the neutral zone and gets ready to attack. Veach. As the attackers get set. Goes to Wise. I think you're going to use their shot clock here. Phillips for Gabby Rivera, again getting her first action in today's game. Natural for Phillips. Around the horn for Wise, now Veach again. Maisie Veach entering the arc. Veach getting hit. Couldn't keep the ball in her stick. Ball being batted around and still loose. Rochester creates another turnover, something they've been very good at doing today.
I don't even know how Veach was able to keep the ball in her stick for that long. I mean, she had 4 Rochester defenders on her. The second Rochester has the opportunity, they're turning the tables.
Haggerty tried to center one, but Howley did a great job getting involved and knocking it away.
A quick pass out of the net, too. She knew she didn't have any time to try to find an open bomber. She saw someone on the far wing and fired it across the field. Give it right back to Veach.
Ball on the turf by the 8-meter arc again. More sloppy offense by the Bombers, and we'll see where possession gets awarded here. It'll be Rochester. Nope, it will be dropped off. Another incorrect statement by me. Is 7:14 to go. Is Wise will facilitate. And 16 goals by the Bombers today. Second most they've scored this season. They had 22 a week ago today against FDU Florham. It's a 22-7 win here at Higgins as Wise shoots and scores. A hat trick for Caroline Wise, the 3rd Bomber hat trick of the day. Ithaca's back up 10, 17-7.
5th point on the day. 2 assists, now 3 goals for Wise. And the display continues for the Bombers offense. 17 goals.
Again, Eli, 3 goals and 2 assists for the 5 points, and then 15 draw control wins. So you can just say another day at the office for her.
I mean, they're averaging at this point just over 16 a game, and the numbers that they've put up almost become routine at this point.
An exchange in sticks here as Wise will get ready in the draw circle again. And clock running, so time winding down as we get ready to resume play again. As Wise will win another, her 16th. Full steam ahead for Maisie Veach. Gabby Rivera for Nordyke. About as far behind the net as you can go here. 5:12 to go in game. Cody getting inside. Didn't have the angle for a shot and got hit. This should be a free position again for the Bombers.
Indeed, and it'll be the 11th of the day for the Bomber offense and another big opportunity.
Cody gets in and sailed it high. It'll be Ithaca possession here with 50 to get one on net. And I don't know if Ithaca will get to that 22 goal mark they did a week ago today, but still a very nice offensive performance for Coach Carrie Moore's team. 3 Bombers with hat tricks, or 3 goals or more, I should say, and some good net minding as well.
And we talked about it earlier. That was against FDU Florham in the MAC Freedom Conference. And 22, obviously a big number, but we're talking about a much, much better opponent in Rochester here in the Liberty League that they've been able to put these numbers up against.
Wise will shoot another one sailing high. 10 to get one off on net. Got to work quick. Rivera to the top. Nordyke, 4. Nordyke with 3. Doesn't have any sort of angle, and that clock will expire as the Yellow Jackets take back over.
And probably no complaints from the Bomber offense there as the shot clock runs out, and the game clock now at 3:30, able to kill a lot of clock in that 90 seconds.
Again, so the Bombers will start Liberty League play 1-0, and then they'll have their next Liberty League game a week ago today in Troy, New York against RPI. That's a noon start.
And that Amherst game, big preparation as well against one of the powerhouses in Division III lacrosse. Coming up, some more tough competition. And Brockport, a pretty good team, but they haven't faced anyone on the Ithaca side too insane that raises an eye ahead of Liberty League play. Well, Rochester and a lot of the other teams in the Liberty League have faced some very tough competition in non-conference play, getting ready for Liberty League play.
A 2-0 start to the season for Amherst College, but they currently trail in the fourth quarter to Tufts 11-8 right now. So a very real possibility we see Amherst looking to avoid losing 2 in a row against Ithaca on Wednesday. There's a centering feed towards the net, and a goal for the Yellow Jackets. Number 21, Brooke Thianaka back on the board as Kayla Howley lets in her third.
And the Yellow Jackets still putting up a fight as they have with every deficit in this one. And I mean, we've talked about it, the categories that they've impressed in, and the resiliency on offense. Now 8 goals in this one to Ithaca 17. They've put up a fight throughout the entirety of this game. A conservative offense, but once they put the ball right around that circle, then they turn into one of those aggressive offenses that will get a lot of shots off. The question is always, with this Rochester team, how close and how many times can they get shots off? And they've been able to capitalize on their 14 shots on goal, with half of them going in. And that stops the running clock as well.
Right. 2:25 to go, though, so if Ithaca wins possession, they can take away the majority of that. As the draw control goes to Wise, and likely we'll see the Bombers just milk some time. Vitra Rivera had it taken away off her stick, but a quick recovery by the sophomore. Cody to Hall again. Cody runs a circle around the net, feeds Wise, and Geis made the save. An impressive save, point blank by Geis. Rochester will have one more crack at a goal before time expires.
That ball was in the air for inches between the nets of Veach and Geis and net. And another good save. And as we mentioned, giving herself a potential look at future opportunities is Geis coming in for Saffron towards the end of the second quarter.
Howie makes her first save of the game there, and will clear ahead for Veach, and Ithaca can hold now and wait for the clock to expire. What are your takeaways from this one, Eli? Because the Bombers, you had the rough loss to Cortland, a big battle of two top 15 opponents last week, but the Bombers have now responded well with one win on the road and one win against the Liberty League opponent here at home.
Definitely some very encouraging signs on the offensive side, particularly for the Bombers. But as we talked about, they've got some very tough opponents ahead. Looking ahead in their schedule, you look at St. Lawrence, you look at William Smith in the Liberty League, that's going to be very competitive this year. A lot of encouraging signs in the win over Rochester, putting up 17 points as the clock gets ready to expire. But definitely, I think we could say some categories for improvement for the Bombers.
A chance here for one more rush for Rochester, but they do turn it over. Ithaca will win this one by a score of 17-8. And their second best offensive performance of the season through just 5 games. But nonetheless, the Bombers move to 3-1 at Higgins Stadium, and again win by 9. Another great weekend performance by Coach Kerry Moore's team. They start 1-0 in conference.
17-8. I'm a big fan of the word momentum, Jeremy, as you know, and starting 1-0 in conference play. And it's always a big sign for what's to be a snowy road ahead for the Bombers in Liberty League play.
Well, that'll do it for us here on the Athletic Stream. Along with Eli Fishman, I'm Jeremy Goldstein. Again, the Bombers win it 17-8. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time.